Well, I just finished watching Crossing Swords Season 2, and I have to say, it's a pretty big improvement over the first season. The first season was borderline unwatchable because it was so boring and unfunny. It was clear that the people who created this show, John Harventine IV and Tom Root, didn't exactly know how to fit their style of comedy into this style of show. It's going from Robot Chicken sketches to an actual structured TV show with one long overarching story, or at least kind of an overarching story, because Crossing Swords, like many adult animated shows, runs into the problem of trying to be an episodic comedy series as well as an overarching comedy series. It's something we've seen Disenchantment struggle with as well. The show is trying to be The Simpsons and The Righteous Gemstones at the same time, which, believe it or not, those two forms of storytelling don't mesh, even when both those shows are really, really good and really, really funny at times. It's kind of weird to see this problem come up twice with two different shows and them both also be set in like medieval fantasy realms, but I guess that's all just a coincidence. Maybe it comes with trying to tell medieval stories, who knows? But the shows feel jumbled, Disenchantment and especially Crossing Swords. Before I get any more negative about Crossing Swords though, I do want to state this second season is a massive improvement. I wound up giving the first season a 3 out of 10 because I thought the animation and voice acting saved this show just the slightest amount. And granted, in the second season, the animation and the voice acting is still the best part, but the comedy feels a lot more thought out. It feels like they found a way to get that Robot Chicken sense of humor and get it to work in this type of show. And I even found myself laughing a few times, which I was not expecting, but it happened and I cannot lie about it. So it's good to see improvements, for sure. And John Harventine IV and Tom Root, the creators of the show, mad props, especially to everyone who worked on it, every animator, every writer. This is great to see. It's great improvement. But getting back into the negatives, there's still that one major lingering problem. You have to choose a direction for your story to go. You have to choose that structure. You want it to be episodic, or you want it to have a big overarching story so that all of your focus can go into that area. I'm not saying that this type of storytelling never works. In fact, it does work from time to time. Hell, we've seen it in Rick and Morty, but you have to be a very, very good storyteller. And Dan Harmon, when it comes to structuring stories, is borderline insane with how much detail he'll go into to get that story to work perfectly within the format that he has. It would benefit so many shows to just try to be one thing, because then you can master that one aspect, whether it be episodic or overarching storytelling. You can pull either one off if you just focus all your attention on it. When you have this split attention, it makes for shows that feel like real mixed bags and that are just all over the place. And that's how Disenchantment feels now, and that's how this second season of Crossing Swords feels. And that's really what drug it down for me. The moments where I was laughing, even at some really immature stuff, it made me feel like I was a high schooler again, or a middle schooler watching Robot Chicken. It can pull that stuff off, and it very clearly has an audience, because hell, I was laughing at it. People younger than me definitely would have been laughing at it, and if I was 16 watching this show, I probably would have liked every minute of it, not even thought about the structure issues or how gross some of the jokes got. There's a clear audience for Crossing Swords and this type of show, but it will not keep going unless they choose a path to go down. They choose episodic, overarching, or they spend a massive amount of time perfecting what type of story they're going to tell. But honestly, I don't see Crossing Swords being that type of show, being on the Rick and Morty level of overarching storytelling while also being semi-episodic. I just don't see that happening with this kind of show. So if I were behind the wheel on this one, I would shift things to being episodic. Same thing with Disenchantment. You don't need this big, crazy, overarching story. What you want is humor to come out of the situations your characters are getting into. Because now with Crossing Swords coming into season 2, you have a pretty big cast of characters at the show's disposal. So being episodic could be very beneficial. Now, I'm sure there are people out there that would rather have this show be overarching or a mix of both. But me personally, I think episodic is a better fit. And who knows, maybe Hulu will give this show a third season and it can finally kick off into a more positive territory. But as it stands right now, Crossing Swords Season 2, do I recommend it? It's better than Season 1. There is stuff to enjoy and laugh at it. I'm going to say if you're a fan of Robot Chicken and you still watch it and enjoy it today, give Crossing Swords Season 2 a try. But I will warn you, if you want to watch this show all the way through, maybe don't. I honestly think that watching Season 1 of this show will completely boondoggle Season 2 of it, because it made me lower my expectations so low that everything seemed like a little surprise when it turned out okay in this second season. So, you know, do what you want to do, but I think that there is an audience for this show. If I had to give it a score out of 10, I'm gonna go with a 6 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. It's a tough one for sure. I don't want it to be too positive because there are still major flaws with the show, but I don't want it to be too negative because it's not every day you get to see a show actually make improvements like this. So you know what? We'll stick with 5.5 out of 10. Maybe bump it up to a 6 on a good day. But that's about where I lie on that. If you're a fan of Robot Chicken, check out Crossing Swords, and thank you all very much for watching this video. If you have any shows or movies you want me to check out, leave them down in the comments below. I'm trying to do a video a week this year, keep on grinding them out, so the more ideas the better, and I read every comment on this channel, so don't be shy. Yours will not be overlooked, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.